Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm meadsy69 and welcome back to another video. Yesterday we took a look at what I thought was the top 5 tech tree tanks that we just don't see. And this time today we are taking a look at premium tanks, the top 5 premium tanks that we don't see, that are just pretty much not there. So we're going to watch Drudels driving the first one, and he's driving the Panther 8.8. It is a German tier 8 medium tank. It's been around for a long time, a very long time. It actually, when it first come for sale, it actually come with the VK43, and I think it come with the Großtraktor, however you say it. So it come with sort of a three tank bundle sort of thing. So I've had it since the very start of since literally the day it was for sale the first time around, and it's a tank that rarely comes for sale. It doesn't come for sale often. You do see it for sale, but even when it is for sale, people don't buy it because they think it's not a great tank. It's not a great tank. It's not a great tank. It's an okay tank. I think the Panther 2 is better than this tank. And over the last 90 days, 167 people only are playing this tank. That is not a lot for a tier 8 premium tank. The tier that everyone plays to earn credits with the premium tanks, the amount of premium tanks there are in sort of tier 7 and 8, 167 is not a lot. I do apologize if you do hear the rain in the background. It is absolutely pissing it down outside. You might not hear it, you might do, but if you do hear it, then I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm obviously sat in my car, as I always do, making footage, because this is literally, I'd love to sit at home and make footage on my PC, but this, having 4 kids, a wife, a job, this is literally the only time I get, other than streaming, this is the only time I get to make videos. And I think it's unique for my channel, you know. It wouldn't be the same. I know the footage would be better doing it at home on a PC, etc. like that. I have started recording some gameplay on PC, but making the video on my phone. But as I've said, it's a unique for me, you know. Everyone knows it. Everyone knows that I sit in my car, and that's what makes my channel kind of special, I guess. So yeah, the 8.8 Panther 8.8, not the best tank. Drudels is actually going to show us here that it can be a good tank played correctly, but you know, that's the same with any tank. Any tank can be good when played correctly. So he's now on a 1 versus 1 because his last remaining teammate there is AFK. So Drudels is only on 80 hit points. The red guy is gonna knows that there is an AFK, so he's gonna want to kill Drudels because that is a lot of free damage for that guy. But Drudels is not having none of it. He isn't having none of it. He's already had a good game, 4.9k damage. This little damage here, this 56 hit points, will put him above 5k, and he can just about see the hatch on top. Well played, Drudels. GG, just over 5k damage with 4 kills and a well-deserved ace. So that is the Panther 8.8, a tank that you very rarely see in the game at the moment. Moving on to the next tank. Now this is a tank I can't even remember the last time I saw one of these in battle. It is the WZ111, the Chinese tier 8 heavy premium tank. I mean, I never see it. I absolutely never see it. 427 people have actually been playing this over the last 90 days, which I thought was quite a lot considering I never see the freaking tank ever. And to be honest, rightly so. This tank is boring, absolutely boring. There's just too many of these tanks around. And when they sold this, I was like, really? Another one? Another one? You know, why sell it? Why play this when you could play the 111-2, which is, or 112-2, whatever it is, 111-2, I don't know. much better than this tank. I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad tank, I'm saying it's a boring tank. There's too many of these. It's just a copy of about 7 other freaking tanks out there. So the WZ111, a tank again I never see in when I go in tier 8, tier 7, tier 8, tier 9. I honestly, I can't remember the last time I see one of these tanks in battle, other than this game here, obviously, that I'm playing. So that moves on to the next tank. It is the T3485 Victory. Again, it has been for sale. This tank has been around for as long as I can remember. Only 246 people have played this tank in the last 90 days, which isn't a lot. It's actually quite more, it's more than I thought it would be, considering, again, I can't remember the last time I see this tank in battle. It's quite a rare tank nowadays. Again, it was here before I even started the game, but it's just one of those tanks that is rarely sold. I mean, Wargaming just don't sell these old time tanks anymore, and I'm actually doing a video on that, on a couple of tanks that used to be completely like broken, or the best tanks in the game. Now you just rarely see them, and again, that's to do with power creep and stuff like that, and it's a shame because these are good tanks. I mean, this isn't the best tier 6 tank, but it's okay, it's pretty solid, it does its job, it's got the speed, looks nice with the camouflage it's got. So yeah, it's a shame that you don't see these sold as often as they used to be sold, but this tank in particular, this just, even in the sort of 5-6 years that I've been playing, it's never really been sold. Very rarely been sold in that whole time. And again, I don't know why. I don't know why they should sell it. I think they'd make some money if they sold these tanks more often, and maybe for cheap. I mean, they are not no Dracula or anything like that, but you know, they sell these for sort of a few thousand gold, 3,000-4,000 gold, and I'm sure Wargaming would actually earn a bit of money from that. So that is another tank that just is never seen in game. Let me know if when was the last time you see these tanks in game. Let me know in the comments below. So that is the T3485 Victory, which then leads me to the T3485 Rudi. And again, this tank, when this tank was sold, I bought this for like £15 back in the day, maybe even cheaper, and it was insane. I loved this tank. 516 players have played this tank in the last 90 days. When this tank first came, it was one of the best premiums in the game, and I'm not joking. You had no Draculas, you had no Helsings, you had no Annihilators. There was nothing really to compete with it. Only sort of Tetri tanks like the Comet, the T43, tanks like that. But now no one plays. I mean, 500 players in the last 90 days is nothing for a tier 7 tank, and it's a shame because, like I said, I absolutely adored this tank. It's a really good tank. It's got good speed, it's got a great rate of fire. The penetration, okay, isn't the best penetrations, and the armor profile isn't the best armor profile, but I mean, you're a medium tank. You didn't care about armor back in the day. You used to play it properly. You used to use the speed, get around those heavy tanks, use the premium ammunition because you didn't care, because your Pramo did the same damage as your AP. So it is a tank that I wish that did come for sale, maybe even buff it along with the other tier 7s in the game, because it is just a tank that no one really cares about, and all the newer players don't even really know what it is. As I've said, just over 500 players in the last 90 days is really nothing, absolutely nothing for a tier 7 medium tank. So I got this very early on, and I can't remember how many battles I played, but I played enough, and I really did have fun playing this tank back in the day. Moving on to the next, and this one, I mean, no one really sees these tanks. It is the Edelweiss, and you can add all the Chronic, the Valkyrie tanks into this. Only 65 players have played this tank in the last 90 days. There is actually more of the Valkyrie tanks that have actually had less battles in it. I mean, we're going to have a look. We have the Hafen, which is only 26 people that's played the Hafen. You have the Lupus, 185 people have played the Lupus. You have the Nameless, which is 97 people has played the Nameless in the last 90 days. And then you have the Vulcan, which only 33 people have played in the last 90 days. So all of these tanks, no one is playing at all. I mean, they're good tanks. These are good tanks. The Edelweiss is actually a very good tank. It was a good tank. Nowadays, I actually played it to get this footage, and I just did not enjoy playing it. I don't know why. It was just, the pen was shit, the gun depression was shit, and I was just not enjoying it. But when these tanks first came into the game, these were really good tanks. But the reason why no one played them, because they were made up tanks. People wanted real tanks in the game. They didn't care about these cartoony tanks. But you know what? Because I'm not a history fanatic or tank fanatic, I did not give a fucking shit if they were made up, if they weren't. If it had a gun on it and it was a good tank, then I'd buy it, because that is what the game is. It's World of Tanks. As long as it's a tank in some form, then I did not care. So yeah, these are the premiums that, again, very, very rarely come for sale, just like the Predator, just like the other shit tank, the 152 tank, I can't even remember what it's called. I don't even care. So that is the top 5 premium tanks that you just never see. Coming up tomorrow is the top 5 collectible tanks that you never see in game. I hope you enjoyed it, guys. I'm Meadsy, and I'll catch you all soon. Bye bye. With